The Bauer sisters of women's soccer face off against their younger sister and Soccer 6 rival. Hello, I'm Anna Gomez.
And I'm Dana Pecora. Men's water polo opens conference play and nabs a few dubs. They're a team with a dream, folks. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. We've got an action-packed show for you this week as our athletes delve into conference play. And we also have the lowdown on who's slumping and who's surging.
And later, Steven Silvestro sits down with tennis player Francesco Mauri to talk coaching changes and early season successes.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top three.
Top three. Is that better?
I was not going to make you say better.
Alyssa Cianciulli is having one heck of a season. The freshman libero is currently leading the NCAA in serve aces. Cianciulli currently has 35 aces in 68 sets and has been clutch for the Explorers on the court this year. Most recently, she had 3 in a tight contest with George Mason. The freshman has consistently provided for LaSalle on the serve, but also has been pivotal on the defensive end as well. Cianciulli currently has 129 digs on the year and ranks 3rd on the Explorers, with 12 coming in an earlier matchup against Cornell. Her performances this year have definitely made her one to watch as the Explorers continue conference play.
And number 2, Kirsten Hogstad earned her second A10 Player of the Week award after a spectacular opening weekend of conference play. The senior from Norway tallied a goal and 3 assists in the Explorers' opening weekend of A10 play. Hogstad recorded her 4th goal of the season in the conference opener versus Duquesne. She also had an assist to help lift the Explorers to a 3-0 victory. She also played an essential role in an overtime thriller against St. Joseph's. Hogstad recorded 2 assists, one which came on the game-winning goal in overtime. She currently leads the Explorers in points with 4 goals and 3 assists on the year.
And number 3, Mark Tobin continued his 2017 crusade with another Soccer 6 award. The sophomore goalkeeper shared the award with Penn's Ethan Mabarak last week, but was the sole recipient of the award this week. Tobin allowed only 1 goal in 9 shots against Hartwick. The goalkeeper has come up big in recent weeks, allowing only 3 goals in the last 5 games. Tobin has been pivotal in helping LaSalle come back after getting off to a disastrous 0-4 start. Most recently, he made 4 saves and helped the Explorers in a 1-1 draw against LIU Brooklyn.
That's a lot of Explorer athletic successes.
Yes,
so that does it for this week's top 3. But let's look what went down this past week for our athletes. Women's soccer bounced back after a rough week as they started their A10 campaign this week. The women began conference play with a dominant 3-0 victory over the Dukes of Duquesne. Danielle Marks netted her 3rd goal of the season in the 11th minute, and the Explorers never looked back. The Explorers allowed only 3 shots on goal in yet another outstanding defensive performance for the team. They then moved to 2-0 in the conference with a 3-2 overtime victory against Big 5 rival St. Joe's. The game ended up being a Bauer show. Macy Bauer scored the 2nd LaSalle goal, while their younger sister, St. Joseph's Morgan Bauer, netted the goal to send the game into overtime. And finally, their sister, redshirt junior forward Madison Bauer, scored the deciding goal in overtime to give the Explorers the victory. It had to be a proud night in the Bauer house.
Men's soccer continued their winning streak on Saturday against Hartwick. The Explorers took the lead early thanks to Matthias Patina, who scored 9 minutes into the game off of a rebound. The goal went uncontested until the 51-minute mark, when Hartwick's leading scorer Jamie O'Grady tied the game at 1. Both teams played impressive defense, but Blue and Gold outshot Hartwick 18-9. With 2 minutes left in the game, Zach Rutherford pushed past a Hartwick defender and sent a beautiful cross to Hayden Criollo. Criollo then tipped it to senior Johnny Cirolante, who finished perfectly to give the Explorers the win. The team looked to continue their 5-game win streak last night against LIU Brooklyn, but unfortunately could not pull through. The men battled it out after LIU took an early lead, scoring off of a penalty kick. However, the Blue and Gold did not give up as they managed to tie the game with 41 seconds left in regulation, thanks to a goal from Johnny Cirolante. The game went into double overtime, which ultimately ended in 30 scoreless minutes, adding a tie to their overall 4-4-2 record.
Women's volleyball is now 0-2 after a tough weekend of A-10 conference play. The Explorers fell 3-2 against George Washington, with Samantha Graver and Devin Cora recording 16 kills each. However, George Washington's 12 blocks ultimately made the difference in a game that went down to the wire. LaSalle took the first set 26-24. The Colonials came back in the second set, defeating LaSalle 25-18. The Explorers came back, winning the third set 25-21. Unfortunately, the Colonials won the fourth and fifth sets to take the win in the first game of the weekend. Now their team returned back to action Sunday, September 24th at the Tom Goal Arena. Making his SportsLine debut, Nick Balkowski has the coverage.
On Sunday, September 24th, the LaSalle Explorers took on the George Mason Patriots in A-10 play. The teams split the first two sets, both ending with a score of 25-23. In each set, neither team led by more than 2 points. Helped by freshman Alyssa Canciuli's 2 service aces and 10 kills between freshman Samantha Graver and sophomore Devin Cora, the Explorers won the third set with a score of 25-15. With a chance to seal the win, LaSalle dropped the fourth set 25-13, taking the match to a decisive fifth set. Both teams played hard in the final set, but the Patriots ultimately took the victory by a score of 24-22. The Explorers ended with 61 kills, 6 aces, and 54 assists. Freshman Samantha Graver finished with a double-double with 19 kills and 11 digs. The loss brings LaSalle's record to 9-8 on the year and 0-2 in the A-10.
For SportsLine, I'm Nick Balkowski.
The field hockey team started off their weekend away with another conference win over Davidson College. Senior forward Kendall Kreider scored her first goal of the season for the Blue and Gold, putting up the only point in the first half of play. The second half of the game brought 2 more goals, one coming from Chloe Luck and the second from Mackenzie Karcher, who accepted a pass from Eileen's Will to secure the third and final goal of the game. Sunday did not give the Explorers the same success as they fell to nationally ranked William & Mary 8-0 with only 3 attempted shots on goal against the Tribe. Goaltender Emma Provost put up 43 saves for the Explorers before freshman Emmeline Sneary took over in the net for the last 27 minutes of play. The team currently sits at a 5-3 record.
The men's water polo team really got things rolling this weekend, earning not only their first win, but their second and their third as well. The Explorers opened the MAWPC play, defeating McKendree 12-7, before falling later to the same day to Mercyhurst 16-8. Freshman Daniel DeMotor continued his dominance this season in the first game, leading the team with 5 goals and also drew 3 kickouts and had 2 steals. However, the stout Mercyhurst defense limited the red-hot freshmen to just 1 goal in the second game. On Sunday, LaSalle was commanding, beating Salem International 15-14 in a thriller. Sophomore goalie Owen Ewan launched a buzzer-beating shot to complete a come-from-behind stunner. The Blue and Gold completed their impressive weekend with a win over Monmouth 21-16, where sophomore Jeff Brady was an absolute phenom, scoring a school record 9 goals.
The men's tennis team competed in the St. Joe's Invitational over the weekend. The Explorers were led by junior Francesco Mauri, who competed in both the singles and doubles section of the tournament. In singles, Mauri ran over Big 5 rivals Villanova and St. Joe's to put himself in the semifinals against Drexel's Bernard Teffel, a transfer from Miami who ranked as high as 66th in the nation. Mauri won the first set and led in the second before Teffel retired. In the finals, Mauri fell short in a heartbreaker 7-6 and 6-4. In doubles, Mauri was paired with senior Tomas Christians. The duo brought their A game by defeating Lehigh, St. Joe's, and Villanova, placing them in the finals. However, Drexel sought revenge and defeated LaSalle 8-2. In the consolation bracket, Tomas Christians managed to pass Delaware, but fell in another heartbreaker to Villanova in the quarterfinals. Well, that just about wraps it up for this week's recaps, but when we come back, Steven Silvestro emerges from the control room to bring us an interview with tennis player Francesco Mauri. Stay tuned.
From the subway line, you're always keeping me 3, 2, 1, action. You may think a guy would be producing this, but I can too. Anyone can find a cure.
Women are being downgraded for their physical ability, but you can be just as strong.
%20 of women are engineers, but it doesn't stop there.
I'm a tech girl. I'm a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
Welcome back. Men's tennis has been on a bit of an upswing as of lately. For this edition of On the Sidelines, Steven Silvestro sits down with Francesco Mauri to talk about their season thus far. Check it out.
Welcome to On the Sidelines. We're finally back with some interviews, and I got a very special guest for this show. I have the tennis team's Francesco Mauri, who has been playing very well this past few weeks. They've had 2 invitationals at Villanova and St. Joe's. He came runner-up in both singles and doubles at St. Joe's, and he had a great performance at Villanova's. But the first thing I want to start off with you, Francesco, is you have the new coach this year in Chad Hamilton. How's it feeling with him?
It's been really good, actually. He does a great job like motivating the whole team, and I think it's part of him being a college player back when he played at Howard University, and you know, he's been coaching and playing for like over 20 years now, so it's an easy fit for us as a team.
So he's just fitting in real nice,
Yeah.
First year, everything going well. All right. Now at Villanova, you had a very long game. You had
Yeah.
you beat Stefan Suarez 18-16 in a match. All right. I've never seen a tennis game go so long. So what was going on in that game with you two?
Well, basically, you know, I mean, I won the first set, he won the second, and a tiebreaker basically comes down to whoever fights their nerves better. You know, we were obviously both nervous because they went 18-16, and my coach was just telling me, just hit the ball, because we were both floating the ball, and I was able to pull it out. So.
Yeah, that's good. And then you went on. You did pretty well at Villanova, and then you went to St. Joe's Invitational. You did even better than that. And you faced a graduate student from Drexel, Bernard Teffel, who was at University of Miami as an undergraduate and went to Drexel for his graduate degree. And he was ranked 65 at one point. And then you were able to pull out a victory against him.
Yeah.
How impressed were you yourself with that?
I mean, it was a good win. He retired in the second set, so he was ready. He was fighting an injury the whole time, but of course it feels good to beat a player with such good recognition at Miami, especially.
All right. You also at St. Joe's. You were runner-up in both singles and doubles with Tomas as your doubles partner. You say that's a great success for such early on in the season, or are you still working harder to make sure you win those last ones?
I think as a team we set our presence in both invitationals. We did a lot better than we did last year, but we still have a lot of training to do. And right now me and Tomas are working on training and getting better for the ITAs that are coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks.
I noticed also in the St. Joe's Invitational you were doubles partner with Tomas, and in Villanova you were partners with Stanislav. What goes on to decide who's your partner in those?
Well, coach basically put us with different people because he wants to see the chemistry between the teams. So I guess he figured me and Stas didn't do too well in doubles for the Villanova Invitational, so he tried putting me with someone else, and it worked out with Tomas. So.
Also, they were kind of different formats in the two. St. Joe's was more of a tournament, where Villanova was like a 2-to-1 format. Mm-hmm. Which one do you prefer?
I like St. Joseph's format better. That's not just because I did better, but it's more of individual. It's like more of a tournament format, whereas for Villanova one is more of a just round robin play, which is, I'm more into the tournament format. All
right. Also, with that, so how you're talking, you like that individual format. Does that mean you like playing singles over doubles?
Yeah, I do. I do like singles more.
Is there? All right, if you could have anyone, you could pick anybody to be your doubles partner, who would you pick? You can go professional, you can go someone at LaSalle, you can go someone you played against.
I'm going to go with Jack Sock. He recently played like Nadal and Federer in like a doubles match, and he was by far like the best player on the court. So he's really good at doubles.
All right. All right. Now, with these, we're still in the early stages of the season. There's 4 young freshmen for this men's tennis team, with Gonzalez, Lucius, Stanislav, and Morel. How are those 4 looking so far?
They're actually doing really well. You know, they're all 4 of them are in the top 6 for our lineup. So to come in as a freshman and play in the top 6, it's a pretty big task, and they've been handling it really well. You know, there's been a few nerves and stuff, but they've been doing really well as freshmen playing in the lineup.
All right. So, what are your expectations for this year? Because I know last year you guys struggled a lot. This year, what do you expect?
I think this year we can have a positive record. That's a big, task, but I think we could do it with our new coach and the new players we have in our lineup. And another one is to beat Nova. That's our big task, to beat Nova this year. That's what we wanted to do as a team. So
Nova, they're your pinpoint. That's your goal this year. That's the one you circled?
Yeah. Well, basically in the 2 invitationals, we had like 70% of the matches against Nova for some reason. So we've got a little bit of attention there. So we're coming for them.
All right. Well, I'm going to thank Francesco for coming out and talking to us on the sidelines. That's all we have. I'll send it back to Dana and Anna at the desk.
So thank you, Stephen, for that interview. So Francesco Mauri, obviously he's been very impressive with his individual play. He's a junior now, so I personally hadn't heard a ton of him, but now we see him all over doing great things, beating Villanova, teams that are his rivals. We also see the team collectively, just a big turnaround with the team. And I think that has to do with new coach Chad Hamilton. He's had a huge effect on the turnaround of this team. And it's cool to see as a reporter. We're not just talking about these individual successes, we're talking about wins. Not just being good, not just surviving these invitationals, actually winning. So it's really fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've had so much individual strength as players, and we've been able to watch some of these players improve, match after match, season after season. But now I think we're actually might be able to see some overall holistic team wins and great performances as a team. Francesco talked about it. The big rival here is Villanova, and that's who they're shooting for. And if we here at SportsLine, if we can see this team get a win over Villanova, it's gonna be incredible, because I mean, an individual player can do really great things against a player from Villanova, but to get this team to actually beat Villanova, that would be really, really exciting for this team.
That's always a LaSalle goal. Like, let's just put it out there. Always beat Nova. That's always a LaSalle sports goal, no matter the team, no matter the sport. But yeah, so I think it'll be really cool to see. Francesco was talking a little bit about it. That's what they look forward to. They play Villanova in their spring invitational. That's what they're looking forward to. That's what they want. They want that win. They're hungry for that. So I think it'll be really cool to see.
And that's when we're going to see the season really start. So I think we're going to be really excited to see what happens in the spring.
Yes, definitely.
And with that said, let's throw it to a break. And when we come back, we'll have Kevin Cook on desk for the Explorer Report.
What's up? Eddie Dunn here, host of LaSalle's favorite TV game show, Q&A. I'm here to tell you to keep watching LaSalle TV. It's on 24 hours a day, every day. You know what else is on 24 hours a day, every day? Nothing. Well, maybe some things, but nothing that's as important as LaSalle TV. So keep watching, or else.
This is Kevin, and Kevin could use some kindness. Here's Ian. He could be that man. Ian chooses to be inconsiderate and not hold the door for Kevin, and in turn, Kevin suffers. Kindness may be a choice, but doing so is always the right one. So if Ian can make the right choice, you can too.
Welcome back. There is plenty of LaSalle sports action this upcoming week, so let us welcome Kevin Cook for this week's Explorer Report.
Thanks, guys. This week's Explorer Report highlights the men's soccer team and their return to A10 play. The Blue and Gold are heading to Duquesne this Saturday in their first conference game of the year. The Dukes are 2-6-1 overall this season, but both of their wins have come at home. A big reason for that is sophomore forward Zach Hall. Number 3 for the Dukes leads them in points and goals. LaSalle's defenders Zach Rutherford and Garrett Keys will need to keep him under control in order to win. Another player the Explorers need to watch out for is sophomore Jalal Aki. Aki has 2 goals for the Dukes and is their biggest threat off the bench. LaSalle is coming off a 5-game homestand where they went 4-0-1. A big reason for this is sophomore keeper Mark Tobin. Tobin has had 2 shutouts in his 6 starts this season, and as the last line of defense, he has a huge impact on the game. A final key to the game is staying clean. The Explorers have out-fouled their opponents 45-18 in their last 3 games. The sloppy play must stop if they want to steal a game on the road.
Yeah. So we saw, unfortunately, they lost their win streak yesterday to LIU Brooklyn. Now, you're going to have to talk a little bit about this. We see that obviously fouls are a problem. Talk about the impact that's having on their ability to beat teams like LIU Brooklyn.
All right, so as far as when they foul a team, first off, it stops the play. And that hurts them because the way that they play their offense, they're a transition team. So stopping the play does not help them. It actually hurts them a lot because now all of their momentum carrying them down the field is gone. Yeah. On top of that, obviously, you're going to get cards when you foul people. So when you card somebody, they have a chance of getting taken off the field, and not only that, you could even lose a player from that too. But the worst part about it is their set pieces. What happens when you foul them is that the other team gets a free kick, and the free kick then results in a chance for the other team to
score.
Yeah, exactly. So when that happens, our defense is not big enough in the middle to defend some of the taller players that other teams send up there. So it's kind of a mismatch. It's basically like point guard going in a lane against center, and the center is just going to reject them all day.
I think you're right on there with exactly what's
yeah,
happening. We were able to hold it down for the last, 5 games?
Yeah, so being home, I think it's a whole lot easier when you're the home team. Going away and to beat a team on their field is extremely difficult at any level. So when you're talking at a college level, a D1 level, like we are here, it's tough. I mean, it's not even the people. You got to go. You're expected to play at a D1 level after riding in a bus ride or whatever for X amount of hours. It's tough to do, and to go out to Duquesne, do it against a rival, it's going to be difficult for them. That's why they need to stay clean. So yeah.
So obviously, we saw they couldn't score yesterday. They scored their one-time goal with I think it was something like 40 seconds left. Talk to us about the problems in the offense.
All right, well, their offense, personally, I don't like the way they play. Like I was saying, they play transition. They like to get out and run, but the way they do it just makes absolutely no sense. They kick and chase, and I despise every second of it because it's not good soccer. They actually play their best offense when they work the ball through the midfield and they play possession. Good teams always possess the ball. I mean, if you look at majors, Like, you got Real Madrid, Barcelona. Their best players are in the midfield. They possess it, and then they attack through that.
Yeah.
So that's what I think that we should be doing. And I get that we're a little nicked up. I know senior center midfielder Joe Hansen's been hurt. He's been out for a little bit. We're hoping that he's going to be able to play in Duquesne. But with that being said, we're not sure yet. So if he does play, that'd be a huge help. But if not, we're relying on some other people in the middle. One of those guys is Johnny Ciarlante. You guys were talking about him.
Yeah,
and actually,
we talk about him a lot, I
yeah,
feel. His name's always everywhere.
The player of the week in the collegiate, so pick it up.
Look at that.
We got it. But Johnny's a great guy. I was talking to him after the game last night against LIU Brooklyn. I got a chance to talk to Rob Irvine, the head coach. Irvine said that he's really the heart and soul of their team, and if you see the way that this kid plays, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He leaves everything out there. He wins every single head ball. He is unreal. And one of the games last year, he got kicked in the face, and he still played through it. He had, stitches, putting his really bad. Yeah, but
That's awesome.
it healed up for him, so
yeah.
don't worry. But yeah, he's played really well for them this year. All
Yeah,
right?
that's
Awesome.
I mean, it's I think you hit the exact points that men's soccer are going to have to look for keeping on into A10 play. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you
Kevin.
so much, Kevin.
Thank you, guys.
And that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorer Report, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com or check out this week's edition of the Collegian.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Twitter at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For Stephen, Nick, and our SportsLine team, I'm Anna Gomez.
And I'm Dana Pecora. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you at the game.